Welcome back and thanks for staying with us. Let's continue to this now. The Gauteng Department of Education has finally announced the dates for online applications for the 2025 school placement of grade 1 and grade 8 learners. The Gauteng MEC for Education, Sports, Arts, Culture and Recreation, Matome Chiloane, announced that the 2025 admission system will go live this week, Thursday, and close at midnight on the 12th of August. Now, Gauteng is the last province to announce its online admissions application period for next year. For more on this, we're now joined by Gauteng Education HOD, Mr. Rufus Mmutlana. Mr. Mmutlana, thank you so much for your time. So now we understand the online admission for pupils enrolling for grades 1 and 8 in 2025 will open at 8 a.m. on the 11th of July. I mean, you will appreciate there is always confusion and frustration during this period. Talk to us through the process that parents are then expected to follow this time around.
Thank you very much, Unati. It's a privilege for me to serve as the head of department of this important sector in our province. Indeed, today we're at Noordwijk Secondary School, where we were presenting a media briefing on the opening of our admission system for grade 1 and grade 8 for 2025. And we are proud to say that our system this year has been reinforced and improved, given the fact that our IT department has ensured that all the glitches which were experienced over the last 8 years have now been cleared, and we are looking forward to be opening the system on Thursday, 11th July, to all parents, Gauteng parents, to ensure that they can get onto the system, load their registration and load their home addresses, load their learner details and their school selections, and upload all the required documents to ensure that their learners can get placed for the year 2025 academic year.
And I mean, I'm glad you talked about the readiness for the department, because it is also a very anxiety-inducing process for parents. I mean, we've seen how the system over the past couple of years has been very frustrating for them, to even get onto it. I mean, we also have seen some learners, particularly the grade 8 learners, left without high school placement last year. In terms of the school selection process, what must parents bear in mind? Because we do understand that you are expecting them to choose only 3 schools. Just talk us through, just the dynamics around the school selection.
Thank you very much, Natia. I just want to start by indicating that the reason why we launched we are launching this particular admission system this week is because our schools have reopened successfully. So now we are availing all the schools in the province for parents who don't have connectivity to can visit our schools and be helped on accessing the system through our schools. But over and above that, we also have 80 walk-in centers across the province and 15 districts across the province where parents can go and apply for learners to be placed in our schools. I must say, just a point of correction, that the parents are allowed a minimum of 3 schools on the system to choose from, but they can choose up to a maximum of 5 schools. But there is a criteria which will be utilized to place learners on the basis of the applications by parents. Therefore, access to connectivity and to our facilities, I don't think it will be a challenge. The only mandate and privilege of the parents is to choose the schools which they prefer, which are within their feeder zones, and the schools will be shown as soon as the parent loads the address, home address. The system will also show the parent all the schools within that feeder zone, that is the schools in the proximity of the home address of the parent.
Just as a point of clarity, I mean, can you speak to just some of the allegations that are always thrown around this particular system, particularly where there have been allegations of reports that the system has been prone to manipulation by some officials in these schools and some district officers?
As I indicated when I started, The system has been improved and strengthened and is foolproof. We've got necessary firewalls as required by government policy. Therefore, it cannot be manipulated by anyone at school level, district level, even head office level. Each and every step which any official does on the system is recorded, and the placement of learners is automatic based on the information which has been loaded by the parents. I must say that one of the challenges which we experienced over the last 8 years, given the fact that we've been running this thing for 9 years now, is the slowness of the system. We have beefed that capacity part of the system, and we are ready to roll on this particular system. And then the other one is that the parents have been selecting less than 5 schools, which limited their option of placing learners accordingly. And one of the key aspects which I want to emphasize, which will make life easy for our parents, is that the cell number and the email address which they load on the system, they should not change it until the admission process and placement are complete, given the fact that the system continuously updates the parents on the status of the application, on the next step to be taken by the parent, and ultimately on the final allocation of the learner to a particular school for 2025 academic year.
I want us to now move on to another point that I want to discuss. Of course, our conversation comes, after the Public Protector's report on corruption and malpractice that occurred in the construction of one of the schools, which had spanned 7 years and cost close to 82 million rands. And of course, this is a school, Maibuye, in Tembisa. Will you, as the department, be forming an official inquiry into this particular matter? Will you be calling for those responsible to be held accountable? What is your position?
I must say that we accepted as the Department of Education that the Public Protector's report is out. We're also excited as the Department of Education that the school is now operational, and the learners in that particular area are benefiting from the smart school which the province has built. And I'm also indicate that the school was built by our implementing agent, which is the Department of Infrastructure Development. As a Department of Education, we don't have the mandate to build schools. We give the mandates and the spec to build schools to the department, and the department has been building the school as it's indicated over the last 7 years. But now the school is open and the Public Protector report is in place. There are several steps or recommendations which have been made by the Public Protector, which we need to respond to within 30 days of receipt of the report. It's 3 weeks now that we have received the report, and we'll be responding accordingly. One of the key aspects of the recommendations is for us to provide an implementation plan to Public Protector on ensuring that the infrastructure projects which are delivered through the implementing agent are done within scope, within time, and there are no budget overruns. And that implementation plan, I will be, through the MEC, submitting it by the end of this week, and ensuring that we also inform Treasury on our commitment to ensure that all the budgets or the budget allocated to a particular project, the project is executed within it without any overruns. Obviously, given the fact that the project was implemented by DID, the actions against employees or any other service provider who was involved in that particular project will be the actions which will be taken from DID side. From our side, we're happy we're utilizing the school now, and we are dealing with the phase 2 of it, where we are building sports facilities and multi-purpose hall. But we will comply.
All right, Mr. Mmutlana, we are out of time. Thank you so much for that. But of course, we will keep tabs on those processes then on Thursday, and of course, touch base with you at the end of the week regarding that report that you have to submit to the Public Protector. But thank you so much for your time. That is the Gauteng Education HOD Rufus Mmutlana, of course, speaking to us there about the admissions process that is going to be opened on Thursday. Of course, that's the application school placement process for the grade 1 and grade 8 learners for the Gauteng province.